Have you ever wondered why some fonts make you feel some certain way? Don't worry, we'll be looking at that in this video. We're going to be looking at font personality and font psychology. So you need to understand that fonts have different personalities. They're just like human beings. There are some fonts that look playful, there are some fonts that look angry, there are some fonts that look serious, and there are some fonts that look friendly. Before we look at that, we'll be looking at the different types of fonts we can use for our project. So the first font you should ever consider is a serif typeface or serif font. So this kind of typefaces, they convey the emotion of seriousness, they convey the emotion of being traditional and also being formal. And this kind of font, you see them on legal documents, you see them being used by corporate brands. The second type of fonts you should ever consider are the sans serif fonts. And this kind of fonts, they are friendly, they are modern in nature. You see these fonts being used by startups, being used by digital firms, and this kind of fonts, they are easily readable. And the meaning of sans serif is, sans means no in French, so it means no serif. Serif are like those extensions, like those bars. The third type of fonts you should ever consider using are the script type of fonts. This kind of fonts are classy, they are beautiful, they have this kind of aesthetics, and they are used by luxury brands. They are also used by brands that want to come out as being classy and being personal. And this kind of fonts, you see them being used on wedding invitation. Then the fourth type of fonts are display fonts, and I really like these fonts because this kind of fonts are custom in nature and they give up this kind of, let's say, personal vibe. And this kind of fonts, you should just use them for headlines. This kind of fonts are not meant to be used for body text. And I like saying display fonts, they're like the life of the party. When you see them, you know them because they are exciting. They should be like, to go font, you should always go to those fonts, especially when you're creating, let's say, posters that has like a big title and is like a focal point, and you want the text to look kind of abstract or look kind of custom. Display font should be the font you should go to. And I'm going to be taking us through the process of how I select fonts for my own personal projects or for my poster design. So let's go into that. Yeah, so the first site I use is freepik.com, and I go to more than fonts. So when I tap on fonts, like I said, different type of typefaces I mentioned earlier, you can see them here: all serif, sans serif, display. Slab serif is like in between serif and sans serif, so it inherits both of their properties. Then scripts, like I made mention of earlier, So let's say I'm working on, let's say, something for a brand that wants to come out, let's say serious. I can tap on serif. Though this silk looks kind of playful, or let's say luxurious brand, let's say a makeup brand, then I can see this. This looks nice. I can't really use this because this looks like a display font, kind of. Like I said, these ones should only be used for like headlines and not body text. You can also see this. So this is one side that I use. Then when it comes to personalities too, like I said, fonts are just like people too. So I can tap on funny. Let's say I'm doing something that has to do with, let's say, comedy for children, or let's say for youths. Let's say a youth hangout now or a beach hangout. I can tap on funny. And when I go to funny, I can see some kind of, like, see this kind of font. I can use something like that. Yeah. And one thing about Freepik is, like, as you're seeing this text now, if you download it and you install it, this is how this text is going to come. So there's no need for you to actually use any text effects if you know how to work, if you can work around these fonts. Yeah, so this is the first site. And the second site I use is Fontshare. Though Fontshare.com, I come here most times, let's say when I'm working on designs for corporate brands and I need like some clean, let's say serif or sans serif typefaces. That's when I come here. So most times when I come here, I just tap on properties I tap on properties to be able to determine the number of styles I want. But where I always come to is this part where it says personality. So I tap on personality. Then let's say the brand I'm working with, they want to come out as a modern brand, so I can select more than one option. Modern, let's say they also want to come out clean. Let's say they also want to be luxurious. Then let's say they want to be, you can't be luxurious and friendly at the same time. So let's say they want to be elegant, and let's say they want to be classic. And I made mention of a corporate brand, so let's say that, and I can scroll down, I can already see some typefaces that have those personalities. So I don't have to go online and be searching for funny typefaces. Some of these websites, they already filter those typefaces for you. And if you want to find pairs, like different typefaces that go well together, you can come here and you can actually edit it. Let's say God is a designer. Yeah, I can have this as my headline text, and let's say something like, okay, let me just use this, and I can just copy this and paste, and I can actually see what it looks like. But instead of doing this one by one, I can just come here because it's a designer, it applies to everything, and I can just, let's say I want to see what this text looks like on all of them. So I can just scroll through and see, okay, what kind of typeface pairs works well for what I'm trying to do. So this is another site I use. Then I also use DaFont. So DaFont also groups everything. Let's say I'm looking for a decorative typeface. Let's say something for happy birthday. Nah, this doesn't really work for happy birthday. I was looking for um, display. Where is display? Yeah, so this is the sans serif. You can see them right here, and it's filtering those options for you. I'm looking for, let's say, comic. You can see what comic looks like. So you can just come here, you can explore and actually find out what each of those personalities or what each of those keywords give you when you tap on them. So this is another website I use. But my go-to website, this is another website you can try out, to iFont. You can just go to browse font and you can see the different um, font categories, like black letter. Now let's say I'm looking for something that is giving this medieval vibe. I want it to give this let's say Greek vibe. Then I can decide to come to medieval. Like now, this is a really nice typeface. I'm definitely going to download this. Yeah. So my go-to site is Befonts, and I really love Befonts. I really love it. So I just go to browse fonts, then I can go to font categories, and I can also go to font styles. So Befonts filters it based on two categories. You can have font categories like the ones I made mention of: black letter, brush, display fonts. So the ones I mentioned earlier on are like the general categories, yeah. So can come to font style. Let's say I want something decorative, and you see now decorative is going to give me something better than what I saw in the fonts, and you can see what I'm talking about now. Like I was saying, something for like happy birthday poster. Can you start to use something like this? Can you start to use something like this? You get. So, and basically just explore with this gothic fonts, logo fonts, and you can see logo fonts if you are working on, let's say, a logo design that is just typography. Yeah, let's say a word mark. You can try to come here and just pick up a typeface from here and use it as like your base structure for creating the word mark, and just modify it to get what you want. So yeah, basically those are the font websites I visit from time to time when embarking on design projects. So in conclusion, we have been able to see that fonts can either make or break your design, and the choices of fonts you make really matter a lot. I hope you found this video helpful, and make sure you like, you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also see you in my next video.